Have you ever wondered just how tall you need to be for NBA teams to take you seriously? In a game where the goal is to shoot in a 10-foot-high basket, height provides an undeniable advantage, and teams are well aware of that. Zachary Versace, Victor Wembanyama, Paulo Banchero. Go down the list of coveted number 1 picks, and you'll notice one thing they all have in common: towering height. In fact, over the past 5 years, the shortest player drafted into the NBA has been Davion Mitchell, standing at 6 foot. In everyday life, being 6 feet tall places you in the top 90th to 95th percentile for height worldwide. Yet, to highlight just how significant height is in the NBA, Kobe Bryant once referred to Derek Fisher, a 6'1" guard, as a midget. Yes, the NBA is that tall. And yet, among these towering giants, one player, closer to the stature of the average person, perhaps even shorter than you, is turning heads in the association.
Yuki Kawamura.
Yuki Kawamura.
I'm Yuki Kawamura.
Standing at just 5'8", roughly the average height of men worldwide and much shorter than the average NBA height of 6'7", Yuki Kawamura has been electrifying the basketball world.
Bingo! Yuki Kawamura from downtown.
At his height, NBA scouts normally wouldn't even give you a second glance. And yet, this Japanese phenomenon has shattered all expectations, showcasing performances on the court that have been nothing short of extraordinary.
Oh, what a pass to Jay Hines! Oh my! Look at the pass!
Even Caitlin Clark, a rising star in the WNBA, has called him the Japanese John Stockton.
Caitlin Clark was there last night to watch Yuki Kawamura.
Front row. She said after the game, she said, "I thought I was watching John Stockton."
In today's video, we're going to dive deep and show you, with firsthand evidence, that it's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog. Ladies and gentlemen, join us as we explore one of the most fascinating stories of the 2025 NBA season. Just how good is the NBA's shortest player?
If you post a Yuki highlight now, oh, it's going.
Oh yeah,
crazy.
Oh yeah.
You gotta tap in. We gotta get you to just upload one Yuki highlight on Twitter, because it goes crazy. Yuki is a. he also.
On December 29th, 2024, the Memphis Grizzlies faced off against the top-seeded Oklahoma City Thunder in the West. And it wasn't pretty. By halftime, the Grizzlies trailed by 26 points, and by the end of the third quarter, the deficit had ballooned to 28. As the fourth quarter began, and after just 1 minute of play, Grizzlies head coach Taylor Jenkins had seen enough. In a moment of resignation, he threw his hands up and decided, why not, sending Kawamura into the game. Even though it was officially garbage time, Kawamura stepped onto the court and immediately made his presence felt.
Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yuki drives.
Yuki is so good at just finding players in tight spaces, not looking, able to get huffed.
While the game was already long out of reach, for those 11 minutes, Kawamura was the best player on the floor. With 10 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and a +5 in the plus-minus column, those numbers speak volumes no matter when they're earned.
Going forward with his team is nothing but get harder.
Yuki for 3.
This marked Yuki's first breakout moment in an NBA regular season game, and in that short span, he gave fans a glimpse of the kind of offensive weapon he could be. Defensive Player of the Year votes may not be in his future, but when it comes to offense, the man is a problem. After the game, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the leader of the #1 seed in the West, and arguably the best player in the league today, had this to say about Yuki.
Did you know that there was the shortest NBA player today?
Yes, I can tell. Really good player though.
What do you think of him? He's a Japanese player.
Yeah, really good basketball player. You can see he had like 10 points in 5 minutes.
Yeah, he's nice.
And like 3 assists. He's very skilled, knows how to play basketball. And it's cool to see that despite the size, that He can play out there. And it goes back to what I said. If you have feel, you can play no matter what.
Anyone familiar with international basketball, however, wasn't exactly surprised by Yuki Kawamura's performance.
Every time Yuki Kawamura gets posted on socials, there is just a flood of engagement.
You see, before North America ever got a glimpse of his talent, Yuki had already been known as a basketball prodigy his entire life.
And his ultimate goal, he wants to play basketball in the States. That has always been a goal of his. He has.
In 2020, while still in high school, he was already playing professionally in Japan's B League. And not long afterwards, Yuki cemented himself as the best player in his country, earning MVP honors in 2023. After that, he went on to shock the world and cement his name on the global stage. On August 3rd, 2023, during an international FIBA competition, Japan faced off against Finland. While neither team was a championship favorite, Finland featured a star player who had been making serious waves in the NBA. That player was Lauri Markkanen.
In those low moments, what kept you up? What made you continue to believe that you could reach these heights?
Standing at 7 feet tall, Markkanen had just come off a breakout season in 2023, averaging 25 points and 9 rebounds while flirting with the prestigious 50-40-90 shooting club. His efforts earned him his first All-Star selection, solidifying his status as one of the league's rising stars. Markkanen wasn't just a standout player, he was quickly becoming one of the most sought-after talents in the NBA. Every championship contending team with cap space was inquiring whether the Utah Jazz would consider trading him. Thanks to his incredible performance, Markkanen had effectively put Finland on the basketball map. And yet, a 5'8" phenom from Japan completely torched him and his team.
Kawamura shakes again, this time contouring, and he makes it in his eye!
Over and over, Yuki Kawamura left Markkanen and all of Finland helpless. They simply had no answer for him. His speed, his agility, and his relentlessness turned the game into a masterclass as he single-handedly willed Japan to a victory. And to top it off, he did it with flair, putting on a show that left everyone watching in awe. In the game's clutch moments, Kawamura put on a show. I mean, first, he drilled a three-pointer right in Markkanen's face. Then, he turned Markkanen into a traffic cone, effortlessly blowing past him to set up a key play. Then, to top it all off, he sank the dagger to seal the game.
Kawamura with 6 to shoot. He will do that, and he will do it nicely!
To repeat what I said earlier, Kawamura made one of the biggest breakout stars of the 2023 NBA season look easy. That's how good he is. By now, some of you might be thinking, his moves on the court look impressive, but what do the numbers say? Well, if you pull up Yuki Kawamura's NBA stats, they'll show just 1.5 points and 0.8 assists per game, with some horrible shooting percentages. At first glance, this looks like complete garbage. Surprisingly, and hilariously though, his effective field goal percentage is still higher than Zachary Rizache, the number 1 overall pick of 2024. But here's the thing, those numbers are wildly deceptive. Why, you might ask? Well, it's because Yuki has only been averaging about 3 minutes per game in the NBA, hardly enough time to find any rhythm or prove what he's capable of. Some of y'all might now be asking, okay, but if he's actually good, why isn't he getting more minutes? Well, the answer to that question lies in Memphis's stacked point guard rotation. He's playing behind Ja Morant, the team's superstar, Marcus Smart, the 2022 Defensive Player of the Year, and Scottie Pippen Jr., a versatile 3-and-D guard who fits perfectly into the Grizzlies system. Does this mean Yuki will never find his moment to shine? Absolutely not. Part of thriving in the NBA is about waiting for the right opportunity. Take Jimmy Butler, for example, a player who, for all intents and purposes, carried a group of undrafted misfits to 2 NBA Finals appearances. In his rookie year, he averaged just 8 minutes and 2.6 points per game. Or Steve Nash, a two-time MVP who only played 10 minutes per game as a rookie, putting up a modest 3.3 points. Then there's Fred VanVleet, an undrafted guard from Illinois. He averaged 8 minutes and 2.9 points in his first season, but eventually became an all-star and a key piece of the Raptors' 2019 championship team. Yuki Kawamura is in a similar position, just a rookie patiently waiting for his chance.
He's like he's another sponge on the team, just looking to get some new information about whatever it is he needs to know every day. Obviously, hell of a player as well.
Some might argue that Yuki's height, being nearly a foot shorter than most players, will ultimately hold him back in the NBA. While height is undeniably important, it's not the whole story. Just take a look at what Isaiah Thomas accomplished. Standing roughly the same height as Yuki, Thomas became a two-time All-Star in 2016 and 2017 and earned All-NBA second-team honors. During that time, he dismantled John Wall in the playoffs, who was a perennial All-Star in the midst of his best season, and Bradley Beal, who was rapidly rising as a star. Thomas proved that even at a smaller stature, skill, heart, and determination can level the playing field. Now, could Yuki ever reach the heights that Isaiah Thomas did? To answer that, let's take a closer look at what he's doing in the G League, where he's currently logging most of his minutes.
I'm just here to say it. Yuki Kawamura is the biggest show in the G League this season.
Here's Yuki at the top of the key, facing a defender who clearly believed he could shut him down with some high ball pressure.
Kawamura to the 10, the finish +1.
Well, just watch how effortlessly Yuki blows by him for a quick finish at the rim. Now, check out this play. After using a ball screen, Yuki fakes a pass back to the perimeter, completely freezing the secondary defender, and glides in for a wide-open layup. And then there's this sequence showcasing why people are calling him the Japanese John Stockton.
It's a 5-point game now. And oh my goodness! With the alley-oop, Kawamura with the dime.
In the G League so far, Kawamura has been a double-double machine, averaging nearly 14 points and 11 assists per game. He's been electrifying crowds, turning heads, and in a league where the average height is 6'7", he's doing the impossible. While he might not be in the running for Defensive Player of the Year, on offense, he's an absolute disruptor. With his lightning-fast agility and explosive speed, defenses struggle to contain him. In NBA terms, that's what you call instant offense. How far he'll go and how great he'll ultimately become is a story still unfolding in real time. But one thing is clear, the NBA's shortest player is probably 100 times better than the best player at your local YMCA. On another note, having players like Yuki in the league might be just what the NBA needs to reignite its spark. Believe it or not, the NBA's viewership has dropped nearly 50% in recent years. Exciting players like Yuki Kawamura who draw eyes could be exactly what the league needs to bring fans back. If you're curious why I say the NBA is on the decline, then check out this video here, which lays out the full story and has already captivated millions of NBA fans around the globe.